Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like the content that you're about to hear. Tonight I am with podcast holder Come Talk Your Shit on all platforms. Stefan. All right, Stefan, I am going to actually give you the floor. We have about 10 minutes that we could actually, just randomly talk or either just listen to some music. Just depends on however you want to do it. It's your night. All right, Stefan is on you.
Okay. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? What's the name of your thingy, Robin?
What's the name of my
You
show?
said,
It's at the
yeah. What's the
bottom.
name of your? What's the name of it?
It's at the bottom. The Queen.
Okay. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Welcome to the Queen 86 podcast, along with Come Talk Your Shit. I believe what we was gonna be talking about mass shootings today. I believe,
That is
and um, yeah, so yeah, we're gonna talk about mass shootings today, about all the mass shootings, and about how we feel about them and what we think should be, the consequences of what happens, you know, because that is partially the reason on why I am, Black Lives Matter neutral because of that, because of the mass shootings. So with that being said, I want to know how people feel about the mass shootings and yeah. And what makes the mass shooting so different between us black people actually getting killed and the difference between other races getting killed in these mass shootings? Because it's like when we get killed by the police and whatnot, and it's black on black crime, yeah, when we get killed by the police, it gets dragged on for 6 months straight, for damn near a year. But these mass shootings only get dragged on for 2 months and nobody else talks about them. But yet, when it comes to us, we want everybody and their mama to come to bat for us. But we're not doing the same when it comes to these mass shootings.
I mean, I can agree. When it comes to the mass shootings, when what I see the difference is out of every mass shooting I have seen, if it's the opposite of our skin complexion, they survive. If they are our skin complexion, they're deceased. Now, again, I don't really understand why so many people are actually, going out and taking people's lives, just for no reason. But I can say that maybe this just goes back to probably like a mental health situation or something like that. Um, Maybe it's something that they're going through, maybe it's something they've been through. I don't understand why the guy went into the school and killed all the kids. I don't get that. But I can think I think it's because of some of these things that these people are going through. And the ones that are the opposite of our skin color, I just feel like maybe they're, privileged. I mean, it's no way of them getting any justification on why they did it because I mean it doesn't really matter. But the black people that actually did it, they can't justify why they did it, but they left the other skin complexion so they can explain what happened. So I mean, I don't really, I don't really, I can't really understand why they did it though. But I mean, that's just a couple of them. Um, as far as, we're out here. As far as what should happen
Come on.
in discipline, I feel like that the discipline should be no matter who commits the crime, you do the time. I feel that it should be fair all the way around the board. Is it going to be that way? We don't know. We got to wait and see.
It's never gonna be that way. And I only say that is because we don't drag those mass shootings on as much as we drag on things that happen to us, individually, as far as like the Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. Like we don't drag on the mass shootings like we drag on that. So that's why I feel like that is like a big part of why I became neutral to the Black Lives Matter movement, due to the fact that everything that had happened, like I feel like us black people actually showed these white people on why, and we actually showed our true colors to these niggas, and they seen that. So now, since they made us show us our true colors, they're gonna treat us way differently, and that still is gonna cause a problem because we feed into what they want. Hello, hello.
We're all
Hi,
here.
Kelly.
We're all
Oh,
here.
okay. I couldn't hear nobody for a minute.
Yeah, we're out here. I think Taya's on mute because she was taking care of the baby. So
Okay,
give everybody a couple of minutes because Tay doing something with the baby. I'm doing. Give me just a moment. Hold on.
okay,
One
okay.
minute. 1 minute. Did we say what I was looking for? Mm-mm. Let me go my ashtray.
Oh, your ashtray.
You know what is
It
it?
is right there behind the O.
I'm just looking for my ashtray. What is she eating?
Nothing.
Mm.
She's talking with her mic.
Okay, I'm back. So, what was you saying? Because Candace on mute, Stefan is on mute. I'm back. Okay. Well, I guess when you ask me, again, like I said, I just want to see what the outcome is going to be. And the reason why is because the other shade of skin, they're gone. So I just want to see if they're going to give, Bobby 6 to 7 years. And I ain't going to call them white folks, but I mean, Bobby, I'm going to see if they're going to give him, how many years they're going to give him. Mass shooting, you done killed a lot of people. Are you getting life? Are you getting 6 to 7 years?
Okay, are you talking about that mass shooting where the police took damn near 75 minutes to extract this motherfucker out this goddamn building?
He was barricaded in there, but yes, that's the one I'm talking about. Yes.
Okay, because I low key actually did see the video of that, and I didn't like what I seen.
I didn't see the
Like, it
video.
was parts of the video where they actually sped the shit up and was running away from this motherfucker and was
No,
standing there.
I didn't see the video. I didn't see the video.
And that kind of made me mad. Like, this motherfucker literally had a whole hour and a half to kill everybody in this building while y'all stood at the hallway down there for 45 minutes.
Yeah. And I
But
just
yet,
think
you supposed to
that was
trust
sad.
the people that protect and serve.
Who trust? You can't trust them. I mean, they want us to. They're supposed to be to serve and protect. But I mean, hey, I guess it depends on what you're doing, Lord. I don't know.
Because when I heard it, and actually, when I heard about it, I was like, nah, ain't no way. Hell no, ain't no way. Until I actually seen the video.
Ken, did you want to chime in on that? I know you be liking to talk about stuff like that.
I don't like to talk about stuff like that.
Are you sure? Okay, so I don't like it.
That stuff it's irritating, and I can't imagine what the parents have to go through for their innocent lives over ignorance. And then the fact that they're white, they're always going to get off. They're not going to get nothing. If anything, they're going to find something mentally wrong with him in
Okay.
order to limit that sentence.
Yep.
There's always a loophole for them. And just, I mean, it kind of, and the school shootings have been going on since beginning of time. Just like we had the little black boy who was getting bullied who popped off at Timberview. It's not spoken about no more. It wasn't no
Right.
mass shooting. But do people care what happened to that little boy to this day? No, ain't nobody worried about him. He was on the news for a little
Right.
good hot minute.
He got his 15 minutes and that was it, and nobody said nothing else.
That was it. The question is that the black people who are now uppity have enough money to help him have a good lawyer. It all depends on them lawyers. Them lawyers get paid good money for things. Plea deals are a mother.
Yeah. Well, Tay, you have an input on any of that?
I just figured out what the conversation was about, so I was kind of listening.
Mass shootings.
Yeah, I figured. I was just kind of listening first to see like what the exact question was. But I mean, I agree with Candace. It's
Stefan,
frustrating because
Stefan, you want to reiterate what you because it's your topic tonight. You want to reiterate what you said earlier, so Tay can give you an answer.
Okay. So basically, I was basically saying at the beginning of the video and whatnot is how like I want to know why, like when it comes to us, individually and things like that, when things are happening to us as a whole, we like to drag it on for months and even a year. But then once these mass shootings come around, they only get talked about for like 2 months and they stop.
okay, so when you say things happen to us as a whole, you talking
The
about like
Trayvon
us as
Martin,
black
the
people or
yes,
us within the shootings?
us as black people, as in like the Trayvon Martin, the Black Lives Matter movement as a whole, we like to push things like that for damn near months and years on end. But then when it comes to these babies and these little teenagers that ain't even got no life to even had a chance yet, we don't talk about those more than 2 months
Okay, so you
because
mean within our community or like as a world?
both, if
Okay,
you
well
think
then
So
I
about
would.
you're
if
basically
you think
saying the
about it,
protesting that we put into George Floyd, all the protesting they put in, all the lawyers that started coming out, all the celebrities that came out, and everybody who pushed and rallied and did all the sit outs, who did the lay there, I can't breathe stuff. You're saying they pushed that so hard for that man, but when it came to these innocent children, people just sat there and conversated and nobody stood up and protested against it. But when it comes down to it, it's the gun laws, and that's how the media spins it. And don't nobody want to
Okay.
go out in the street trying to protest gun laws when you got a bunch of white folks about to come out with their rifles and protest their right to have them. And then we got a bigger issue. So of course they don't want to push it that way. Nobody wants to be on the street walking and protesting for them innocent babies like they did George Floyd, because at the end of the root of that is gun laws.
I mean, then that's also your perception, I would say, because you know, if that's the case, then we would have to say that about every single situation that goes on in the world. Just because you don't see it and don't hear it doesn't mean that it's not something serious. Because I mean, you can say that about when them black churches got shot up. Every black person was outraged, but you didn't hear nobody else saying something, and how you didn't hear anybody else, any other racial group, really cared because it didn't involve them. I mean, but that's not saying that there wasn't other groups who were protesting it and saying something. It's just that you didn't see it as a mass, because when it comes to black people, if we're not pushing our own narrative, we won't be heard. So because I see people around here where I live still talking about that. I see social media. There's so many people when they said how that the mayor decided to close that school down. It was so many black people under them comments saying yes, because you shouldn't have to make those babies go back. Just because you don't see us saying something about it doesn't mean we're not. It's just like kind of what Candace says, the media. They really don't care about us. They don't care about us until they need us for something. So of course you're not going to see, oh, here's what the black community said, because like kind of what y'all saying about the police. I was going to say the police were never meant to help us anyway. The creation of the police was to control us.
Right.
After slavery. So, I mean, you have to remember that even in 2022, we are still not considered to be a people. So just because you don't see black people outraged doesn't mean that we're not. Because I'm pretty sure just like there were white parents, Hispanic parents, there were black parents who lost their babies too. Right. You can't just say that we don't care, but it's not true. We just don't get heard. Now, when like with the women's rights with the Roe versus Wade, you see a lot of white women out there outraged. That doesn't mean black people aren't, but they get attention. Right. They get attention. When we do stuff, we're called thugs. We're called rioters. We get called bad stuff. It don't matter if we are that or not. But when we get attention, it's negative. And so they're trying to get positive attention for those kids. They're not going to show nobody black. They're not going to do that. We're the enemy. It don't matter if we're the victim. We're the enemy. I'm outraged that them babies got shot up. I'm outraged that, it took them so long to take old boy down. I'm also outraged at the fact that they shot that boy 90 times, but they took the other white shooter in with no problem. But the problem is we are the enemy, so you won't hear from us unless you go looking for us. So I wouldn't necessarily say that black people aren't carrying this on. We're not talking about it, because they are. You can see it all on social media. You just got to look for it. That's why they say the internet is free. Google's free. A book is free. You got to go search for what you want to know, because they're not going to put us out there in the
They're not going to put it out there.
Just like
if you're not involved in it.
Yeah, just like a few years back. Nobody heard about the little boy that saved the little white girl from getting kidnapped because he's black. He literally chased after that car. I read the article. He chased after the car and basically snatched the little girl out the kidnapper's car. But you won't hear about that because he's black. Wow. It made local news. I mean, it was old now. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember when I saw it.
Right.
But
it made local news for a small moment.
Yeah, you're not gonna hear about us in a positive
But
light
had that been a white boy who done that, they probably would have had a national day for him, a parade for him. He would have been in the news. He would have been brought to the news station. They would have had an interview with him about his courageousness and about his upbringing. They would have made sure there was a big old fiasco to cushion because the little girl was saved. But just based off of his color alone, it was just brushed over and because they don't want to paint us in no good light that we do anything heroic. They want to keep us in a negative light as if we're the problem. But we're not the problem. We didn't bring ourselves over here at the end of the day.
I mean, some of us were already here. Just because you land on a rock doesn't mean you founded that rock. But, that's another story. But, I mean, that's the truth, because it's so many other stories where there's African-American kids doing big things. And the only place you're going to see it is the Shade Room or any other mostly black media. You're not going to see it on CNN or Fox 4 unless it's negative. I mean, it's so many cases where you can say, why aren't there other races defending this case too? Well, I mean, that boy Kendrick who was rolled up in the gym mat and they said it was suicide. What? You don't hear any other race talking about that.
What?
Yeah, you don't know about that.
Yeah, that little boy come out to be about the boys and the girls.
Wait, I don't really watch the news because the news is very depressing.
It was on local news. It wasn't.
It was local. I literally had to look that story up.
Listen, I I don't do negativity, and the news is very negative to me. So that's why I'm saying, listening to what y'all have to say about all of these things that went on, the only one I heard about that I actually paid attention to was the ones with the kids.
But that's what I'm saying. That story I just said, that's old. That's old.
I don't watch the news at all.
Yeah, I seen through one of them
Though. I mean,
articles.
it was all over the internet. It's old. But that's what I'm saying. So you can't say that we drag stuff on for years, and there's stuff that y'all don't even know about going on.
Exactly, because I don't know nothing about none of that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. If it only make local news, that means, I mean, you're not gonna find out unless you read your local newspaper.
But that's what I'm saying. If it's black, you gotta go on social media, because that's where we get to warn each other. It used to be a book, a roadmap where it was safe for black people to travel. The internet is basically our roadmap now.
Well,
that's what it is. I mean, so honestly, if I'm not trying to say this in a rude way, Stefan, please don't think I am, but if you don't know about it, I applaud you living that lifestyle, because that means that you don't have to deal with these things, and it's you've never had to deal with that situation, and that's a good thing. But that stuff is out there. A recent story was a black guy was found lynched under a tree, and they called it suicide. But his family said there was no way, he'd been missing. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't go looking, nobody cares about our stories, but us. But us.
Yeah.
You have to actually go into these groups where people are talking about these things. I remember when that little baby died over here in Dallas, the little white baby. Yeah.
It's a couple of them that died in Dallas. Is this recently?
It was like a few months ago. I think.
Because it's a couple of babies that.
Are you talking about the baby that got kidnapped in Dallas? And they found her dead?
And they found him dead in the street.
Yeah,
they
I know
said
what
that
you're talking about.
the stepbrother, he's not no stepbrother, he's the dad's girlfriend's son. His friend is the one that took him. That's what they said. But I mean,
yeah, she ended up being kidnapped, but then they ended up finding her dead.
Because that's what I'm saying. People are still.
See, all this is depressing to me. All of this is depressing to me, because that just shows that this world don't care. I mean, people in this world just don't care at all about nothing. Like,
that's nothing new though.
In order for you to go out and kidnap somebody's child, that means you have no, like, you can't be.
That whole story is kind of iffy and off itself. If you followed that whole story, it just sounds off. I don't know if the kidnapping is really what went down, because following the story, it looked like the brother, whatever he is, did it to me, and that's what I see, because he was iffy, his mama iffy, and I don't even know what happened to the little boy daddy, because the daddy had custody. So, I haven't heard of the story recently, because it was like you said, it's so much at once going on. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you really have to go and investigate these things, because anything involving us negatively and making them look good is going to get more media. But anything making us look good is going to be bad.
Facts. Well, I mean, that's like life in general. But with them,
Yeah. But I mean, to answer that question, that's the answer I have to give you. That just because you don't see it or you don't hear it, don't mean it's not going on. Yeah. It's just our opinion, and what we say and do don't matter until somebody else who isn't this color walks in. Basically. And that's sad. That is very much so sad. I mean, I do think that this world is still racist. Yeah, I said it. Of course, it never stopped. It's just with phones, it's more public. I did say that, and the reason why I say that is because you have to watch some of the things that's going on. I get what you're saying, Ty. I get exactly what you're saying, because if we go out
and do the same thing that somebody else did, it's a different outcome. And that's what I'm looking at right now, because I mean that's all we getting. We getting different outcomes for the different skin tones. I mean, that's all it is. It's sad. And people don't care about the next person. You got people out here, just kidnapping people, kids. I mean, you got people out here, trying to lure little kids, out of their homes and stuff, playing on these other game systems. So I can understand what y'all, saying, because this world is just becoming, hey, wow, this world is crazy. This is nothing like how it was when I was a child. If things was going on like this, it was hidden from us. But now that we have gotten older, now we can actually see some of these things that's going on. Because being a child, you're not gonna really think about a mass shooting. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you caught up in it, you stuck in it, you nervous, you don't know what to do. But a child would never think of a mass happening at their school. You get what I'm saying? Now we're living this.
It was crazy because my high school years we spent doing drills for it, but we never had to
Deal with
experience live.
that.
The worst I believe our generation had at that point was 9/11. But it was always drills for fire drills. It was drills for bomb threats. It was drills for it, but now these kids in multiple generations are experiencing lockdowns on a real basis, school shootings on a real level, physical trauma that's really messing with their mental. And this is supposed to be our future generation. It's actually supposed to be the generation to take care of us when we get old. And it's like our society now is literally kind of screwing them up.
But me and Tay was talking about this a couple of days ago. We were saying how oh Lord, I forgot what I was about to say. Lost my train of thought. Tay, what that conversation was we was having about now. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. It's not this generation. Basically, it was our generation.
The one before y'all.
Yeah, you get what we saying. It was the generation before us that did this. This is where this come from. My generation just then made it a little bit, sad, because it's a lot of people that I went to school with that didn't even make it to the age that I am now due to gun violence. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, it's like my age group is the ones that's basically out there, not thinking and just doing things, and ain't thinking about the consequences behind it, or not even thinking about, the next person's, feelings. Because once you lose a life, I mean, that's something that's gonna change somebody's feelings, the way they live, their lifestyle. It's gonna change a lot of things in somebody's life. And it's like, if you greed and you know how that greed feel, why would you want to purposely do that to somebody else? That's all I'm saying. But y'all keep talking about the mass shooting because I don't know nothing about it.
I agree. I just think that it was the generation before yours, Robin, because it's all a slippery slope. You know, it all has an effect. Everything has an effect on everybody, and it just goes down with every generation. It's like one big giant generational curse, just getting worse and worse and worse.
Okay, guys, what I wanted to do was to chop the video up. I wanted to do two parts because sometimes people don't like looking at one long video. So let's just give them something that they could actually look at, and then we're gonna actually exit out this live, and then we're gonna do part two of the worldwide shootings. Again, we do have Stefan hosting tonight. He has his own podcast on all platforms called Come Talk Your Shit. Yo is spelled Y-O. Shit is spelled with a Y and not an I.
See, you
Please
can
like.
host.
Please like, share, and subscribe.